We start with amazing Amazon. Somewhere, CEO Jeff Bezos is smiling, maybe even laughing, as the company becomes the second one ever to hit $1 trillion valuation, coming in right behind Apple a month ago. And the stock looks to be on an unstoppable run in 2018, up a whopping 75%, adding more than $430 billion in market cap. So do you just keep buying Amazon, and will these tech titans carry the market on its shoulders? Guy, what do you say?
Leading with Aerosmith is fantastic. So by that alone, you should continue to buy Amazon. But I'll say this, and Tim might actually agree with this. We've been pretty constructive on Amazon for quite some time. But now you're looking at it at a point where on a relative strength index, it's pretty much ahead of its skis. Now, that's not to say the stock is going to collapse. The stock can trade sideways, and that relative strength index can come back to levels that actually make sense. But I think at these levels, it's gotten a little bit ahead of itself, and I wouldn't be surprised to see over the next month, month and a half, this stock trades sideways to slightly lower.
Well, what concerns me is just the portion of the market's move that's been contained in this, mega cap tech. And that's what bothers me. So, yeah, I think a little over the skis, Guy. I actually agree with that. I think Amazon's biggest issues, though, are not valuation, are not even positioning. I think it's the regulatory environment. I've said this before. I think there could be antitrust against Amazon at some point, not because they're dominating any one particular sector, but because for a long time they've been in business not to make money, but to push into market share. So I think one of the greatest things they've actually done in the last couple of years is the Whole Foods deal, because I think their encroachment into that $1.5 trillion consumable space is a place that, first of all, benefits all consumers right now. And I think it's uber competitive. And I think they're putting a lot of pressure on Walmart, which is why I don't like Walmart.
There would be a tough thing to do, the anti-competitive nature, especially with this administration. But you would think, how would that break?
Why? This administration has broken out
said,
DOJ at any time they want.
Last week, Trump just said that Amazon, amongst the other big tech companies, were acting in a very antitrust manner.
Right.
I think it would be too difficult. They have so many different levers that they can pull that I don't think it would be effective with Amazon to actually go the route of regulation. I think everyone knows that was sort of out there, but I think it's too complicated to do it.
Who has levers they can pull? I don't understand.
Which part don't you get? Amazon has a lot of levers, a lot of income streams, a lot of revenue sources.
Okay. So you meant the government. If they wanted to go after them, they could do other things.
No, I don't. I think it would be too convoluted for the government to go after them. I think because they have so many revenue streams, it would be difficult to have anything long-lasting on Amazon.
I mean, to your point, in a way, I mean, if antitrust stems from being too big, right, and the solution is to break up the company in some way, actually, that would probably be a good for shareholders. That would probably unlock a lot of value for AWS.
But it wouldn't be good for consumers, would it? I mean, isn't it ultimately about protecting consumers, not shareholders? I mean, I don't know. Again,
but that's not the question, though.
I think they're technically or definitionally in a place where they are too big in any one sector, but they have run small businesses out in 10 sectors. Mom and pop stores are getting crushed by Amazon. Somebody cares about that. I don't know who.
What do you think?
I mean, it is ironic that this administration might be one who would be anti-Amazon, since they have, I mean, they've grown organically, except for a few things like the Whole Foods. But it's interesting to me, though. I don't know if this last move is just analysts sort of falling all over themselves to put very big targets out there and be the first one, or if, we've had a huge retail run, if Amazon as retailer, it's not just that, they're taking share away, it's that consumers are spending everywhere. I mean, Singles Day, even with the, or Prime Day, rather, even with the momentary, I don't know, whatever, the site didn't work, but still was an extraordinary day. It's astounding to me, though, the stock, you can't get comfortable with it on a retail valuation. You have to get comfortable with it on their growth, their ability to just grow in all new kinds of businesses for a while. And they've actually been able to do that.
We've
I would
all
never
looked
short
for
it.
Apple was supposed to be the top of the market, ring the bell, $1 trillion valuation, and that was 10% ago. So we've seen that happen. Amazon has been over the skis months ago and is up from $1,300 the last time. It was way over its skis.
But let me just point out one thing that I noticed today that I thought was really interesting. So Amazon, $1 trillion. If you look at just today, if you look at any time the stock was trading, so it traded, let's say, $2,039 bid, $2,039.5 offer. Just that spread of market cap is bigger than the entire Sears Holdings market cap. Sears was the Amazon of its day, right? It's unbelievable for us to imagine now Amazon being absolutely
buys those
dwarfed
clothes
close
there, don't you?
Yes, he does. He gets the
Using catalogs.
The
Tough skins.
catalog by
Tough
Horse
skins.
and
Your
Buggy.
animals, too, I think.
Why wouldn't I? I mean, the catalog is fantastic. We got people laughing in the peanut gallery over there.
Somebody liked it.
You know, the good news for Amazon is they're getting into higher margins business, something we've talked about for a while. And the Morgan Stanley upgrade cited that exactly when they, I think, put a $2,500 price target on it. My point about RSI is maybe the stock has been ahead of itself, but now in terms of that metric alone, it certainly is. You know, stocks typically trade somewhere between, let's say, 45 and 70 in this RSI. You have Amazon now trading north of 80, which last time we saw these lofty levels was probably 20 or so years ago.
Let me ask you this. It seems like the only reason why you don't like Amazon at this point is technical.
Technical, absolutely.
Fundamentals, it all lines up. So all these bullish analysts on the street who are saying, oh, it's revenue growth is slowing, but margins are great. You know, cloud is going to be amazing. It's going to keep up the margins. Like, you believe all that. It doesn't worry you that everybody's on one side on this trade.
They could prove to be correct. Absolutely.
Everyone was so far on the other side on this trade for years. Everyone said short Amazon and then short it again. It was based on valuation. Now everyone realizes that they can turn that lever or turn the screws whenever they want during earnings and kill the shorts. It's impossible to short.
I don't think they care about killing the shorts, though. I think this is a very different kind of CEO than.
I'm sorry. I think that people willing to short it are afraid to short it.
The couple things. First of all, guys talking about RSIs, and we try not to get too wonky on this, but I think it's right to talk about when things get overbought. The cool thing about RSIs is you can go from overbought to not so overbought pretty quickly. So I don't think analysts are going to make their call based upon that. The part of their business model, to me, that I would be most worried about would be AWS. I realize that's been the growth engine, except for the fact that that's the place that they're competing against some of the biggest names out there in tech, and it's going to be commoditized. Look, the cloud is what it is. It's enterprise, and there's a lot of people that are looking to play in that space. So if anything, that's where the multiple gets compressed from whatever levels we're at.
Before we move on, I would like to play a game of Would You Rather.
Oh,
Would you rather? And the choice is between the $2 trillion market cap companies, Apple or Amazon. Guy Adami.
Is there a time frame for this game? Well, based on what I just said at the top of the show, saying how on an RSI it's overbought, and Tim is right. I mean, if it goes sideways for the next couple of weeks, that RSI actually gets more manageable. But given that I said that it's RSI, it's overdone, I'd have to say Apple. By the way, I like that you brought that up this morning with Joe Kernan at 6 a.m. in the morning. I mean, you just got the whole clock going. It's amazing, because he didn't know the games we still play.
No, because he doesn't watch. He's sleeping right now. He is sleeping right now.
Pops and drops.
He thought we still did pops and drops on the show, which we clearly have not done for a good long time.
But I think you should keep the games to this show. I'm a little jealous. I mean, I'm a little...
I was playing games with other people?